Shouldn't have worn my contact lenses. Okay, as lovely as your design is, I'm going to start the presentation with our own logo. So my name is Bob Barrage. I'm one of the two directors of Foundation for Change. It's a new charity that's been running since April of this year, but we've been running it under another charity for 10 years. So we've got a long history running this program. And we work with people who have experienced drug and alcohol abuse. And the thing that unites the people we work with is that all of them have experienced some kind of trauma, usually very severe trauma. And when I say that, I think a lot of people do think about something like childhood sexual abuse, and we work that a lot. But that may include bereavement, it may include loss, it may include grief, it may include neglect. So there's a lot of different types of trauma that we work with. And I want to just say why I do the work I do, and the reason I do it is because I really love change. I mean, in a way, the kind of clues in the title. I love change. It excites me. I love working with people, and I love seeing people change. And I send shivers down my spine to think about the ripple effects that change has on the people around them. And we'll be hearing from Sharon, who's done our project later on, and she'll talk about that. And something else about the logo very quickly, so I realise time is ticking, is that we see the importance of people building a foundation for themselves. People come to us with very shaky, unstable foundations as a result of their experiences. And what we try to do is we try to get them to understand their foundations, and we try to get them to reconstruct their foundations in more solid ways to build the rest of their lives on. So, what is the next project? And that's what I'm here to talk to you about. It's interesting because philosophy seems to be a bit of a theme here. Philosophy also isn't in the drug treatment system, interestingly. And what we do is we include philosophy and psychology on a very intensive 12-week training program. So people come to us and they work in groups. We work with about 45 people a year. And these are some of the topics that we cover on the course. Our full schedule is outside. Just look for the most bland table out there. We so knew we didn't have the budget for such flashy colored posters and things. But these are some of the things that we do. And on the training, people learn different things. And I think one of the most incredible things about being in groups, I mean, groups are so powerful and they're so transformative, and people learn in a safe place to be assertive and to set boundaries, and to have respect for themselves, and to have respect for other people, and to learn to communicate. And for a lot of people, all these skills are really new, and I actually think it's not just people with drug and alcohol problems that need to do this course. I can count on a lot of people in my own personal life, family particularly, who could really do this project. So we spend 12 weeks in group, and we then send people out onto a placement. And actually what I should have said is when they're on a group, during the initial 12 weeks, they also do qualification. And for a lot of people, it's the first time they've ever received a qualification in their lives, and it's massively, massively significant. So they receive a qualification. At the end of the training, they go onto a placement. It's a 6-month volunteer placement that we source for people. And again, it's just a way of putting into practice the skills that they learn. And it's also a way of just taking their first steps into the world. And you know, again, like I said, for a lot of people, that is very new to them. A lot of people we work with have never had jobs before, or at least legitimate jobs. So that's very much what we do. And I think the other thing I was going to say is that there's something that happens, something really crucial that happens in terms of people making a shift in their identity. And when they come to us, they're clients, and they've been clients for drug services, usually for a long time. We don't treat them as clients. We treat them as trainees. We don't treat them as coming for group therapy, they come for training. So I'm going to wrap up because the bell's just gone, and I'm going to hand over to Sharon, who's going to give you her experience, probably better than I could. So,
I've got this, thank you. Good evening everyone. Addiction for me was very, very long. It was most of my adult life, and it was very, very traumatic. And as Bob said, the trauma started well before the addiction. It was also traumatic for my children. They were innocent, and for members of my family who loved me and just wanted me to change. So I was 16 when I started a life of drugs and crime, and in 2012 I was 51 and put myself into treatment. And thankfully was referred onto these guys, Bob Barrage, in the next project, and I got on it, and I did it. And it was really, really scary. I was so scared. I'd never, as Bob said, I'd never had any education as such, I'd never had a job, I'd never had the Android phone, a debit card, and I'd never used a laptop. I was just like somebody from out of the dinosaur days, I really was. So I completed the next project, and I don't know whether I passed because I've never ever looked at the certificate. I didn't really care because I did it. As far as I was concerned, I won, and I did it. And when I completed the course, I felt I got to a stage confident enough, and I thought, I want a job. I was like amazed everybody, and I said, I want a job, and I got a job. I got a job, and I still have a job, and I've built all bridges with my family. I've become a decent single parent. I have boundaries and rules and regulations. That was a massive battle. My son was 9 when I went into treatment. I was kind of at an age where, you know, without proper guidance, it could have gone that way. And we had a battle of wills to kind of lay out boundaries, rules and regulations, and sorry, I'm gushing. It's great.